The new Zenith of Power City skin has finally been released for Rise of Kingdoms. In addition, we've got crazy patch notes on a whole lot of changes that they're making for talents in the talent tree and for inscriptions. We're going to go through all of that as we go through the updates that they're getting ready to make in Rise of Kingdoms right now. Hey everybody, I'm your boy War Daddy Chatsky. I do these videos all the time, and if you enjoy these videos that we do, please throw a thumbs up on here. Give it a like, and really helps out the videos, helps out the channels. If you're not subscribed, consider doing so. Does not cost you a thing, baby. And you can hit that bell to get any alerts that you might want when I put out content like this. Well, this was just released. You got a little bit of a visual effect here on the Warriors Hymn, the new city theme that will be 20% infantry defense, and then it goes through the top 5, get the animation, the 6 through 50, get the static avatar. There's all kinds of cool stuff that goes on with this Zenith of Power that's getting ready to come in the game, and we've gone through exactly how 20% infantry defense will translate into the game. So we've done that. I'll have a card at the top that goes through a little bit of that and how that stuff works. But in addition to this, okay, they've recently put a big update together for these patch notes. And this is some of the stuff we need to go through. When we look at this, okay, we are going to go through this kind of one by one. First of all, you're going to do some event series stuff, come to the gardens, collect trowels, if you will, to renovate your courtyard. So there's all kinds of cool stuff they've got to do with the Spring Showcase event series. You got the Melon Market, which we all love, Fisherman's Fortune, great. These are good value events that come through, protect the supplies. Then Zenith of Power. This is what we'll do with the Zenith of Power. We'll also have the classic section of the Zenith shop where you can take those, the currency, and you can save those up and get older Zenith of Power city skins that they've talked about. They added a faded Zenith badge during the exchange period. You can convert Zenith badges into faded Zenith badges and use them to exchange for returning classic city themes. Okay, this is really cool. Any unused Zenith badges will be automatically converted to faded Zenith badges at the end of the event. So basically what they're saying is they're going to take the currency you don't use and you get to save it. They're going to turn it into quote unquote faded Zenith badges. And they've talked about this, how you can accumulate currency by powering up a little bit for every Zenith of Power event, and you save that currency and then you can use it for old Zenith of Power city skins, which is really kind of cool. So during the event, the Finish Now feature is available for a limited time offer. You can tap Finish Now button to quickly use speed ups when training troops. Hey, yo, quality of life, let's go. I love this. So they're going to give us an option to use speed ups very quickly to finish now, which is great. Absolutely great. They do this for our crystal tech when we have our crystal tech going on, to where we can just use the a quick button, and the button will use whatever speed ups that we have to finish out the crystal tech that we're trying to do at that time. So I love this finish now. That's a quality of life thing. Okay. And then it tells us to see the calendar of events for the detailed schedule of what's going on. Okay. Now we got Lost Kingdom and Season of Conquest changes. They optimized Song of Troy. Okay. They added one additional chance to change your patron for a total number of 2 per season. So you can change your patrons. Of course, we know how these work. You've got Artemis, you've got Poseidon, you've got Apollo, you've got those 3 different patrons that you can use and change. They adjusted the passive effect on Poseidon's violent waves. When one of your field troop deals basic attack, the target troop loses 3% march speed for the next 2 seconds. This effect can stack up to 10 times. Oh my. Siege players, get ready, because that is a huge buff to when you're attacking troops on the map, and now you're going to slow down people with your siege towers. So they also adjusted the passive effect of Apollo's Radiance. The maximum durability reduction applied to a target stronghold has been adjusted to 30%. So not just 50%, now it's 30%. Additionally, while the Eclatus Cannon and Solar Chariots are active, ranged troops cannot attack buildings. Okay, so there's an adjustment to that. when you have these different kind of buffs. But now that wall durability, guys, we just did a 1v3 in Troy. And the fact that they could reduce a fort down to 50% was just insane. Now they can reduce it down to 30%. So they're getting rid of those fort walls. Excuse me. So from there, it's going to reduce the duration of the Olympians arena phase to 1 hour and extended that of the duel phase to 23 hours. Okay, so the preparation phase will be just 1 hour, and then you're going to be able to do for 23 hours instead of 4 hours. After a duel victory, the percentage of slightly wounded units that can be immediately healed has been reduced from 100% to 85%. Oh boy. So we're going to have to figure that out. They increased the number of Olympian Arena is available during the story by 1. So now we're going to have, I think, 3 to 4 different dual Olympian Arena situations. And they added Crusader Achievement, Chosen Vessel, where you eliminate 300,000 units in battle within the Olympian Arena to unlock it. So they're going to give us another achievement. They're basically going to incentivize us for doing the Olympian Arena. And of course, you guys saw I live streamed the Olympian Arena. It's crazy. It's a lot of fun. But now they're going to extend the duration of that. The problem with that is that you got to heal your hospital when you do it. I took deads from it because I didn't heal my hospital. So they're going to make those adjustments. We'll have all those for you when they put it into the game, and the Olympian Arena will be really cool, okay? And Warriors Unbound Season of Conquest story now available for mini-season mode, okay? They're going to lower the requirements to unlock certain Chronicle chapters and Crusader achievements and reduce the number of autarchs. Okay, only eligible kingdoms may register. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this when it comes to a mini-season. Holy geez, that's something we've always asked for. Can we have a mini-season so we don't have to be in KVK for like 2 straight months? You know, we can actually just be in KVK for a shorter period and go fight quicker. So we have talked about that many, many times. So now we're going to have to see how that actually works, okay? And now we got an acclaim shop that's been in the game now. And they're going to extend it to the Season of Conquest Heroic Anthem. So now you have an acclaim shop and a Heroic Anthem. They typically do this where they put the new acclaim for the kill points that you get and the units you heal, you get acclaim rewards or acclaim coins. And now you can redeem those in the acclaim shop, but they only had it for certain KVKs. Well, now they're adding it to Heroic Anthem. That's typically how they do this. Anytime they put something like that into the game, they put it in a Pioneer event and then they spread it out through all the other KVKs. And so now the Heroic Anthem story will have it. An adjusted acclaim gains for killing Sev wounds level 1 units in Lost Kingdom to improve the balance. Okay, now you can't get acclaim. Okay, if you do 10,000 level 1 units, you get 1 acclaim. Okay, so you can't just go feed T1s now and go run your acclaim way up. So you got to do it honestly, okay? So now we've got some control and quality of life optimizations, all right? They added a queue. Now you can hide or unhide unlocked queues when it comes to the management panel. Okay, that's all part of the management panel that we have over on the left. They added 4 new queues: material production, armament acquisition, crystal tech research, and crystal mine production. Okay, this is the panel. So now they're going to add things over here that include the materials that you're doing, and of course that's in your material. Blacksmith, being able to do that. Also, they're going to add the crystal tech stuff over here as well, so you can kind of see how that works. You can see my donation chances here. I need to run those up because I'm maxed out full, so it's giving me an alert there. So pretty cool when it comes to some of those different kind of optimizations. All right, so in addition to this, they adjusted certain talents. Okay, now this is probably the biggest thing of this entire update. They're going to adjust talents and some inscriptions, okay? And we're going to go through this because it's a little bit of a nerf for commanders with the attack tree, and I'll explain that in just a few. And is it a nerf for Attila? I don't know. We'll see. They adjusted certain talents and armament inscriptions to improve balance. Now this is where it gets tricky because they reference any reduction to skill damage taken effect is now reduction to skill combo smite taken damage. Okay, and so as part of this change, certain combo attack and smite damage talents have been enhanced. This adjustment applies only to Season 2 and beyond. Okay, so they reference all or any reduction to skill damage taken effect is now reduction to skill combo and smite. But then they only reference certain ones, okay? Emergency protection. All right, this is in the support tree. It says right here, support emergency protection. This has always been a very, very popular talent within the support tree. Support tree is really, really good, and it always has been. It's lost a little bit of value because this specifically talks about skill damage reduction, okay, where you reduce the incoming skill damage by 15% for 3 seconds. But now that we have more smite and combo commanders in the game, it's not near as important. Plus, you also have rejuvenate over here, which is insane, okay? But from there, emergency protection, now it's not just skill damage. Now it's smite and combo damage. Okay, that's a big deal. All of a sudden now, the support tree and emergency protection is getting a big bonus, okay? So in addition, on the skill, okay, you also have loose formation. This commander's troops take 9% less skill damage, skill combo, and smite. So you have loose formation as well when it comes to that support tree. I always think of CPO when I think of support. So where is loose formation? Right here. So now this is going to say smite and combo. So all of a sudden now the support tree is cooking with reducing all different types of damage, not just skill damage. That's important. Okay. Now on the skill tree, the Heraldic Shield. This commander troop takes 6% less skill, combo, and smite of all troop types. And Naked Rage. This commander troop deals 6% more skill damage of all types, but also takes 6% more skill, combo, and smite of all types. So that's a little bit in the skill tree here. That's a little bit of a different situation. You have Naked Rage, where you deal 2% more skill damage, but also take 2% more skill, smite, and combo. Okay, so that diminishes Naked Rage. That's not going to be good at all. Okay, you've got Clarity here, which gives you a bonus of skill damage. We got Rejuvenate. And which other one did we have? Not Feral Nature. Was it? Oh, Heraldic Shield. Okay, this commander's troop takes 6% less skill damage, but now it's going to be skill damage, smite damage, and combo damage. So it looks like they're doing this blanket for anything that has to do with a skill damage mitigation, okay? And I don't know necessarily the reason why. We'll get into that in a few. Okay, this is the big one because this one on the attack tree can be conceived as a nerf to Attila. And let me explain. Excuse me, had to cough. I've still been dealing with this after effects of COVID, and we're still cooking, all right? Martial Mastery. This commander troop deals 6% more normal damage of all types, but also deals 6% less skill, combo, and smite, okay? That's a big deal. It's a big deal for Attila because Martial Mastery is one of the best skills because you're increasing your normal damage by 6%, but you're also doing 3% less skill damage, okay? But you don't care because you're not running skill damage with Attila, all right? And then it's the same thing with Luce. If you run Luce, where's my boy at? He's around here somewhere. Where is Luce? There he is. Okay, it's the same thing with Luce, right? You do more normal damage, but you take 3%, but you do 3% less skill damage. Well, now they increase that to 6%, and now that references skill damage, smite damage, and combo damage, which is kind of, pardon my French, kind of BS when it comes to this. Like, it's kind of BS that they're going to nerf this, okay? And they're literally taking commanders like Luce and like Attila, who are doing, Luce and Attila, who are doing smite damage or enhancing combo damage like Attila, and they're basically saying, yeah, no, that 3% less skill damage, we really meant 6%, and it also includes smite and combo. Okay, that's a nerf. Big time nerf. Okay, so from there, that's one thing that the attack tree has always been so good. Always really, really good with Luce, extremely good with Attila and other commanders. Well, now that gets nerfed, okay? And so from there, here we go. 5 years after the game, 6 years after Attila's been out in the game, they're still nerfing this dude. All right. In the defense tree, they reference loose formation. Same thing now, where it's not just going to be less skill. It's going to now affect combo and smite damage. Now, what this does, guys, is that all of those talent trees, you can go to my Discord link. It's down in the description. I have talents for all of these commanders. Well, now it changes things because when we do like a David situation, right? Like if I've got David here and I go into his talents, if you look over here, I've got a balance, right? Where I don't do emblazoned shield and I do impregnable and I do the combo. And then I have an anti-skill where you have to do Emblazoned Shield. So I have different talents based on the kind of rally I'm going to see. If I'm going to see an archer rally, I'm getting this thing right up here. And I'm getting 12% less skill damage taken. Now, they didn't reference Emblazoned Shield in the patch notes, but they did reference all skill damage mitigation talents will be skill, smite, and combo. So I'm trying to get clarification from the VIP support from that, and we'll let you know as soon as we find out. But if that's the case, that all of this, anything that references skill damage is now going to be skill, smite, and combo, then cavalry, guys, we just got a massive bonus, a massive buff. Being able to do Emblazoned Shield and take 12% less smite or combo damage. That would be incredible. As a cavalry rally or garrison would be absolutely insane. But you can see over here, I have anti-smite and combo. This is my build for that. Anti-skill and then balance. So now this changes because now if Emblazoned Shield and Impregnable are gonna now work for smite and combo and mitigate that damage, then we're only gonna have like one tree. And the tree's gonna be this right here. Pretty simple. So that's just something to think about because they don't reference those in here, okay? They don't reference those in here, but that is one thing that we have to look for and get clarification on, all right? In the mobility tree, you've got some take less skill damage. Now it's smite and combo. So basically anything they're referencing in any tree, they are now on the combo. This commander's troops deal 6% more combo attack damages of all types. In the smite, they enhance smite. This commander troops deal 6 more smite damage of all types. Thick skin, okay? This commander troop takes 6% less skill combo and smite. So these are all adjustments, okay? And then now they have adjustments and inscriptions, all right? Now I come back to the top to read this because basically it is saying any reduction to skill damage taken effect is now reduction to skill, combo, and smite. So they're referencing any, and then they're giving us examples. So I'm pretty sure that these are examples, and if it's not referenced here, it's still gonna work. So we'll have to wait and see. But here's the inscriptions. Guarded, of course, we know is a 10% chance to reduce the damage of skill damage by 20%. Okay, but now that's skill, combo, and smite. Guarded becomes really, really potent now as a common inscription. Embattled is another one. Okay, and now if you take not only skill damage but also combo and smite, you have a 10% chance to gain 50 rage. Okay, embattled, good. Overpowered. Okay, the wielder's troops takes 2.5% less skill damage. I don't know if it's called overpower. It's called something else. So anytime you take 2.5% less skill damage, now it's combo and smite as well. Same thing with deflector. Deflector now becomes super powerful. If you've got a double with a special inscription and deflector, you're going to take 3% less skill, combo, and smite. That is absolutely busted. Really good if you have that as part of a double inscription. And then to approve the applicability of the effects of certain stratagems in Season of Conquest. Now we're into Season of Conquest stratagems. Fierce Assault, Unconquered Annihilation refer to the story of the actual effects in the game. Okay, some of the other features, I'm going to skip through some of this. This is a strategic view control. You can hold and drag, quick command, no longer interact with runes. This is great. Okay, this is one of those things that when you're fighting in the field and you're running quick command, you guys all know that the runes just nerf you. Because you're highlighting multiple marches, and if you click and drag onto a rune, which it locks it in for you if you're hovering over it, even if you're in dot mode, it tells you, oh, you can't move. So now they're getting rid of that, which is great. All right, and then now this is the other big part of this where we knew that the 8-hour cooldown or the War Frenzy cooldown, I dealt with that last KVK. It sucks. It's awful. You got to do mental gymnastics just to remember what you've done in a rolling 24-hour period of running your War Frenzy. Well, now they're making it much easy to where a new display tab will be available and you can reference. If you are in Frenzy for 8 hours in the last 24 hours, now you know exactly where you're at with your Frenzy, which is great, okay? Now, does this fix the War Frenzy situation? No. I've told them time and time again, I put it into a recommendation. There was over 1,200 upvotes on my recommendation that said, listen, if you're gonna do War Frenzy, just do 8 hours of cooldown for every 24-hour period, reset it at reset. That's simple. You wanna make it easy and simple, just that's the way you do it. Have a timer. You have 24 hours from every reset. You have 24 hours at 0 UTC to run 16 hours of War Frenzy. If you run over that, you have a timer. You can see exactly what you've done in every 24-hour period. You have to be on cooldown for 8 hours. That's the easiest way to do it. But they refuse to do that. They want to do this rolling 24-hour nonsense, and it's still going to be a pain in the ass. But at least now they're going to make it better, because once you hit 8 hours of Frenzy, you're going to have a display to where now you can view your past War Frenzies and you can plan a lot better for the future. If I had this, I wouldn't have gotten nerfed. I got completely nerfed on live stream. I went over my War Frenzy within a 24-hour period by 1 minute. 1 minute, and it put me in an 8-hour cooldown. It was awful. It's absolutely awful. Literally telling players they can't play the game. Okay? The Pioneer experience for this feature will be available first in select kingdoms. Okay, hopefully that's not in any of the KVKs I play in, because I've already had it once. I don't want it again. And then they added a numeric keypad in fields requiring numeric input. You can now use the in-game keypad, which is kind of cool, I guess. Now you have an in-game keypad. You don't have to go onto your keyboard on your phone or your iPad or on your computer. You can now actually just do a numeric keypad on the game, which is good. Okay. Now they do Champions of Olympia. They got a ranked mode situation going on here. They optimize the Alliance bounty. Okay. Rewards obtained from completing Alliance bounties will now have a weekly limit. The maximum amount of food, stone, wood, and gold can be obtained each week is 100 million each, and the maximum flux coins is 200. Okay, so I think they're maybe nerfing that a little bit or increasing it. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. They added a reconfirmation prompt, secondary password, donating flux coins to the Alliance Armory. Okay, that's good. They optimized armament loadout interaction. We're going to have to see how that works. They added a new achievement category in Guardian. The new achievement, Talent Abound, has been added under the Child of Fate category. Okay, so they're going to add some achievements for us, which is fine in the regular game of your achievements over here. So we've got something new that's probably going to show up. Where is it? In the Adventurer, Vanquisher, Overlord, Engineer, one of these, whichever. I don't really care. Okay, so come back down here to the bottom and look at this on the other features. They enrich the performance of barbarians on the map by introducing a new barbarian appearance and skills. Okay, the Pioneer experience for this optimization will be available first in select kingdoms. All right, so now we have to figure out how we're going to do that from the barbarians. I think maybe some cosmetics, or you kind of see what their skills are. They remastered troop performance now has a new death animation for fallen troops. Okay, so like we're going to take the sad faces, we're going to make them red faced. However they're going to make our new death animation look. Maybe you see like the little characters in the field like fall over sideways and like blood's on the field, something. I don't know. Maybe make it look better. They optimize the Alliance building interface. Battle reports for Alliance buildings can now directly be viewed. I like it. Okay. So everybody can review battle reports for the Alliance buildings. You don't actually have to be in the garrison, which is fantastic. That is so good. Okay. Now, part of the reason why people love seeing reports, and it's one of those things to where I always joke with people, like, if you want to see the battle report, then you get your tail in the freaking garrison and send troops to die. Then you can get your battle report. But now we're like incentivizing people not to get in the garrison. Hey, don't get in this garrison, but you can still look at the battle reports, which is kind of awesome. So from there, the other optimization skills for the Holy Site and Past Guardians, that's Hammurabi's Code, okay? Added in, descriptions regarding control, immunity, effects, all that stuff. The Fury of the Ancients. This is stuff that really doesn't matter too much in late game. And then they added an alliance rankings for barbarian forts destroyed and armory resource contributions. I love it. So now we can track the forts destroyed by your alliance or have it per player. I love that. Under the Ark of Osiris tab in profile, they added the display for the number of Grand Prix championships won and number of Grand Prix main event appearances made. Okay, just some cosmetics there when you're looking at the displays. They optimized the Bastion Quest interaction. Quests and rewards can now be claimed directly from the Bastion Quest interface. Okay, you don't have to actually go to the Bastions to claim that. You can just get it from the interface and you're done. Okay, cool. And they optimize inventory item display. Museum relics are no longer visible in the inventory. You can now apply city themes, name plaques, and other cosmetics directly from the inventory, which is basically right here. So now I can do city themes from here, which is kind of cool, I guess. And so from there, that's kind of how this thing works out. But the most important things, okay, first of all, we'll get clarification on this, okay, when it comes to the changing of all these reductions to skill damage taken. Now, it references any, okay, it references any. So we don't know if that's any or if that is, if just the ones that they referenced in the mail, okay? So that's one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on. I already have a message out to VIP for that. Be sure to join my Discord. You guys can see that. And it is in my Discord, I'll announce what they basically tell me, that if that works for everything. And the main takeaway there is that if they do this for all references to skill damage, then Emblazoned Shield in the Cav talent tree is off the charts really good. If you can decrease smite and combo by 12% along with the skill damage. All right. So if that's the case, then Attila is going to get a nerf like we talked about. This nerf down here where you're going to do 6% less combo damage and smite and skill damage. Okay. It's a little bit of a nerf with Attila. That's just what it is, because Attila, a lot of people who are running arch formation with Attila, you just want the 6% more normal damage, because you're enhancing that so much, and you're enhancing it with the arch special inscriptions, that you don't even really care if you do 6% less combo damage. All right. But it is a nerf. Okay. But if that's counteracted by a Blazing Shield being 12% less smite and combo, then we're cooking, Cavs. Cav players, get ready. So we'll find that out. That is the one question we've got to get answered as we conclude this video and what it's all about. So with that, I hope everybody enjoys this video. If you would, please throw a thumbs up on it. Give it a like. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Really helps out the channel anytime you like these videos and the almighty algorithm. And if you want to join my Discord, the link's down in the description. And with that being said, we hope you have a great day, broskies.